Hello there, I'm back again after another good while, but this time shorter than the last. I forgot to record the first part of the line art to this, and I was very upset about it, but I said screw it, I am not lining all this again, so we're starting here, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. I mean, I kinda gotta deal with it too, so, you know, we both get the short end of the stick there. Real talk, I was actually pretty upset when I went to check OBS Studio after lining for a while, just to find out I wasn't recording any of it. I was deeply upset about it and frustrated. I just kind of sat there for like a whole 5 minutes, just kind of sitting there just being upset in general. Anyway, in my last speed paint, I mentioned that I had gotten into new things, and on my next speed paint was going to be on an old thing I had gotten back into. This is pretty much that thing. This is from an old RPG online game called Fable. I remember seeing ads for it everywhere when I was really little, and I don't really see that many ads about it anymore, despite that it's still very much a thing. I first got into this game when I was really little. I want to say I was maybe about 10, believe it or not. My cousin, she was super into it, and she told me about it, and I remember even then, I was really little, I remember seeing the ads, but I didn't care for it, and it was more on Adventure Quest than Fable. So she properly introduced me to Fable, and she first showed me some of the characters. The first character she showed me was Artix, who he grew to be one of my favorite characters. But then she showed me Warlik, and I instantly wanted to play the game. There was just something about Warlik's design that drove me toward him, I guess. I just really liked his design. I thought he was neat, so I wanted to play the game so I could find Warlik and see what quests and stuff he had for me. And just so happens to be that is the character I am drawing. When I played Fable when I was really little, I would literally play it all the time. But even then, because I was like young, I still didn't completely understand the story. I just kind of played and fiddled around. I played it for a few years. After then, I was there when the Storm event was a thing. And then I just kind of fell out of it for a long time. I got back into it another, like, a few years back, but that was only for, like, a really short time, and that character was, like, my Persona character. I mean, same thing goes for my very first account. And then, like, maybe 2 years ago, I decided to play it again, but forgot all my information from my last 2 accounts, and made a whole new one and decided to make an OC with this one. And then cut to 2020, I am bored at home. I was like, hey, you know what sounds like fun? That one game I haven't played since I was in high school. So I checked on it to see it was still a thing, that they are still updating this game. They're literally updating it weekly. I am very pleased and happy that it's still alive and going. But I decided to go back, and I got on my OC account, and I fell in love with it all over again. Same thing for falling in love with Warlik all over again. So, great job, Artix Entertainment. God knows how many years later, and you still got me simping for the stupid white-haired wizard. So, I kind of just decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna draw him. Just for the hell of it. This is actually my second time drawing him. I have another, it's a headshot picture of him. I have a headshot picture I drew of him on my Tumblr and my Twitter, I believe. Honestly, I wasn't too satisfied with how the face looked on that one, so I'm kind of trying again. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the face of this one. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this picture in general. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, I'm not satisfied with the background. you'll see in this. I made 2 different backgrounds. I'm not satisfied with either of them, but at least I'm satisfied with Warlik himself. That's important. The reason why I was intrigued with Warlik, aside from honestly just me finding him really pretty, well, I don't know why, I was always attracted towards, like, the wise characters in a lot of things. And it surely didn't help that he was dressed in blue and called the Blue Mage, because blue is my favorite color. But I'm actually also pretty pleased to see that with the game updates and more stuff added to the story, that they've added more stuff to Warlik's character in general, that you find out that he's more than just some wise mage. Like, the fact that his magic works completely differently than most mages do, that was part of the Storm event, which is honestly one of my favorite events. And I love that I can still go back and do it as part of the story. How his magic works is, unlike other mages, when they use magic, they use up their mana. With Warlik, when he uses magic, he generates mana. And if he uses too much of it, he can overload himself and basically become the not alive, as we should put it. I really like that they added that little thing about him. That was pretty nice. I don't know if that was like a thing in other versions of him. I don't play the other Arctix games, assuming, I guess. Mostly because they just don't interest me as much as Dragon Fable does. So, I mean, that's probably something that's always been a part of Warlik's character in all the games, and I'm just too stupid. Truthfully, I don't know what it is. I just don't have that much of an interest in the other Arctix Entertainment games. I do have the launcher that, like, gives me, like, the buttons to play all of the games, because, you know, Flash is gonna be outdated soon. Supposedly, they're going to be porting the games to OpenGL, I believe it is, but until then, they have the launcher, so that way you can just kind of play the games right there in case they're not able to do that by the time the discontinuing thing happens. So anyway, I've been playing the game again. I finally got my hands on a dragon amulet, so now I have all of the perks in the game, and oh my god, I did not know what I was missing. I initially only got it because I wanted to be able to customize my dragon, and there was like a waterfall dungeon I wanted to go to and I couldn't get to, but it was mostly the dragon thing. So I got it. I finally got the chance to customize my dragon, got to change its name, and I finally visited that waterfall dungeon I've been wanting to go to. And it turned out it was a water elemental dungeon, which is not bad. I still had a fun time playing it. I got to play the Hydra's Lair dungeon. I got a pet out of that one. I don't remember the name's pet right off, but it was like a little narwhal looking pet, I think. I think it was a little narwhal looking pet. I'll have to look that one up later. But as I'm playing the game again, I'm coming to appreciate characters I didn't fully appreciate before. I think it's because now that I'm older, I'm like able to like pay attention and understand stuff that goes on in the game. Arctix is one of the characters I've come to appreciate more. I still firmly believe and call him a dumbass, but he's a good dumbass who just likes to fight the undead. I played the Necropolis with him, and one thing that killed me was when there was a scene where he was basically experiencing withdrawal symptoms because my character told him not to battle the undead because we were trying to make like a peace treaty with them or something. No, we were trying to get on their good side so we could get into the school, I believe. Why did I think that? I was able to do Zorbak's questline in Amityville, the one that involved the Dracolic Skele Dragons. I loved that one 2 bits. It was honestly one of my favorites. The ending of it made me really glad. I am kind of upset that despite my character saying, I'm gonna adopt one of them at the end of it, you don't actually get one of the Skele Dragons. You have to get dragon coins and go to Cicero for that. And I already used up all of my dragon coins on boosts so I can level up faster. Having the dragon amulet also gave me some other perks that I didn't know came with it, and I think they're actually newer perks, such as you can invite certain party members that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise into the battle with you, or you could just do it instantly. You can summon your dragon to you instantly instead of having to go to Sunbreeze Grove every single time. Believe me, that made things way easier than they should have been. I'm still working on training my dragon to get all of the skills, because I was confused about that for a long time. Like, how on earth am I supposed to get my dragon all of these skills? And it was right there in front of me the whole time. Right now, I am doing the Orb Saga. I have gotten pretty much all of the orbs except for the Water Orb and the Darkness Orb. Yeah, I haven't even gotten to book 2 yet, but I do know like some of the stuff that involves that. Let's just say I am in for some true shenanigans. I'll just put it at that. I'm really excited to get into book 3 though, because I heard book 3 is absolutely amazing. From what I've been told, there was a developer change around book 2, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was book 2, and book 3 was where it was the most evident that it happened, because the writing had taken a darker, more mature turn, and a certain character that we see mentioned is very prominent in it. I don't know much about it, except that it's called The End of Magic, and a character named Jonia. Why do I say it like that? I know exactly who Jonia is, but Jonia is basically the main antagonist right now, and she's trying to get rid of all of the magic in the universe that the game takes place in. That's literally all I know, aside from the fact that some characters have redesigns because they're evidently older. That's literally all I know, and I've had people tell me not to spoil myself on anything regarding book 3, so I am doing my absolute best to not do that. So I've been completing book 1, working on the orbs, and I finally met this one character that a lot of people love, and I do see why they like him. Tomix. Tomix is the one I'm talking about. I finally did his saga, which was actually a lot of fun, though to be honest, I wasn't that huge of a fan of the forced romance that was in his book 1 saga, but I was told, this is pretty interesting actually, I was told that Tomix was actually a Dragon Fable OC made canon, but he wasn't part of the team until about book 3. The person who made Tomix, I mean, wasn't a part of the team until it was about book 3. So another developer was doing Tomix's story for book 1, and they didn't even consult Dove, the creator of Tomix, about any kind of romance with Tomix as a character. And I know he corrected it in book 3, but I'm not gonna lie, a part of me just kind of makes me go, I don't know if he was like super mad about it, but if that were me, I would have been like really pissed if someone pulled that kind of stuff without consulting me first. Speaking of Dove, I heard he's actually really chill with the fanbase. I was informed that he is actually the most involved in the fanbase out of the other developers. That he's very open with talking to people about stuff about the game, just interacting with fans in general. I've been told he also looks at a lot of fan art that's made for the game too, so he seems really cool. And apparently he makes a lot of jokes in general. I've not seen this happen because I am not in the Discord server where this happened, but apparently this guy literally called his own character a twink. So that was fun. Honestly, I find it really cool that there's someone just willing to talk to the fan base and such like that. I love when people do that. And speaking of the Discord server, I'm actually pretty surprised Dragon Fable has a small fan base. I thought for something that had been around for such a long time it would have a bigger fan base, but no, it's surprisingly small. Which, I mean, there's not anything bad about that. The only issue I've had with it is that I don't find enough people to RP with, and, well, I'm too scared to go up to people anyway, so I thought about going into the most well-known Dragon Fable Discord server, known as Falcon's Nest, I believe? Yeah, it's called Falcon's Nest. I want to go into it, but I'm nervous too. A friend of mine has informed me that, well, per with any big server, there's gonna be some intimidating people in there. I'm just intimidated by big servers in general. I want to go in there one day if I ever have the guts to go in there. But until then, it's kind of a no for me right now. Though, someone in another server I'm in told me that they mod the Falcon's Nest server, and they have been working on making it a better, more welcoming place from what they told me, so I'm really thankful to hear that, and that's what makes me slowly more comfortable to going in there one day and hopefully talking with some people. But until then, I am in that smaller server. The smaller server is honestly just as great. There's a lot of chill people in there. I've not been in there very long, but it's pretty welcoming. We just had a night where we just talked about dolls, and I ended up talking about Earring Magic Ken. So that was a fun one. But the people in there are a lot of fun. They're chill. And it's a small Dragon Fable server, and they've been like really supportive and welcoming. I talked about my Dragon Fable OC, and they were pretty excited to hear about them, hear about my ideas for that character. My character's name is Ember, by the way. He is a mage, because I refuse to choose any other class for some reason. But he is a mage, even though his actual weapon isn't a light weapon right now. I gave his weapon of choice to be a light themed staff. The name of it, I believe, is called the Staff of the Shard. It is my favorite staff in the entire game. So that's his visible staff, but not like his actual fighting staff right now, until I can find a better light themed staff. I will say it is also pretty cool getting a hold of stronger weapons you wouldn't normally be able to have without a dragon amulet. I felt pretty overpowered when I first had it for a while, and I feel kind of pretty average now because I haven't found like a decent other weapon. Because I mean, the one I have, it works. The ones I have work well enough right now. So, and I'm still progressing through the game with what I got on me. I found my strongest staff is the staff I found. I'm trying to remember where exactly it was, but it's a dragon statue, and if you go to it, you have access to all of these dragon-themed, dragon amulet-only weapons. And I have... my primary staff is the 20 level 20 fire staff in there, and that's what I pretty much use as my primary staff because it's my strongest one right now, and it does the job. Speaking of fire, the hardest event I have gone through so far, which is also part of the Orb Saga, was the Fire War. Oh my god, there were like 4 quests in there where the enemies were like just really powerful for some reason. I mean, I managed to finish the saga just fine, but I had some trouble, especially with the dragon whose name I cannot remember. It's like a weird, hard to pronounce name. I can't even pronounce the main antagonist of Book 1's name. I have a hard time pronouncing that, so I'm not saying it. But anyway, I fought the fire dragon a multitude of times in the Fire War. I did eventually beat it, thank God, but it was still tough. In truth, Fire War actually kind of made me sad, especially since Yulgar, the original blacksmith of Falcon Reach, left. I kind of miss him being in Falcon Reach. But the good part of him not being the blacksmith there is that Lim has taken over to be the new blacksmith. And I recently finished his quest, and oh my god, his quest line might as well be Cicera ruining everything for a week straight, because oh my god. Every time I did something for Lim, Cicero would come in and just do whatever it is Cicero does. I genuinely like Cicero as a character, and it was really funny, and I'm saying the whole ruining things is a joke. It was actually very enjoyable. Back to the picture, actually. This is the part where I struggled a lot. I'm not used to making scenery backgrounds, and this was the hardest I ever had with something for a while, because I had kind of an idea of what I wanted, but I also didn't, and I'm not familiar with doing backgrounds. And my mind was like, hey, you know what? I have a new grass brush. Let's play with that. And I mean, I guess the result, damn, was alright. But I mean, I'm honestly not happy with it. I even tried to make a second non-scenery background, and I still didn't like how it looked. Either way, I just kind of went, you know what, screw it. It's as good as it's gonna get right now. The focus of the picture is done. That's what I care about. I should probably learn to get better at backgrounds, honestly. Why am I saying probably? I know I need to get better at backgrounds. I mean, honestly, I guess it's not the worst background I've ever done. I've definitely done worse. I have done way, way worse. So, I mean, I guess for an attempt at doing a kind of scenery background, I guess it's not too bad, since I mostly focus on, like, people anyway. Or when I do backgrounds, it's usually just the sky and stuff. I guess it's alright. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun doing it. If you want to support me in any way, I do have a PayPal link in the description below. But if you can't help me, that's totally fine. We're all going through stuff right now. I totally get it. I also have my other social medias in the description below. Hey, meet with me, talk to me if you wanna. But that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.